We're going after these people that led the coup, this anniversary of the murder of our president by a cabal, and this lie that they locked in place, that it was, a lone gunman. Anybody that still believes that, I think, is just not being honest, doesn't want to be part of this adult conversation. That 9/11 was done by some terrorists in the mountains in Afghanistan. President Trump has said, before he's done, we will know who brought those buildings down. And I don't think he's going to disappoint us. This Q acronym, one of the interesting things, the number of Osiris, who's this focal point of the cult, the Washington Monument, the center of Washington, D.C., the number of Osiris is 17. That was the death and resurrection day of Osiris, when Isis went out, found all the parts and pieces of his body except for his penis, and she fashioned one out of stone and had sex with it, and then had a child by him, the dead corpse. You realize this is a religion that is based in the capital of our country, and the religion is built upon a belief that the child, the gods they worship, were born through a death ritual ceremony. It's all based on death. Those that hate God love death. The Q drops that occurred a couple days ago, saying that this is a battle against principalities and powers of darkness in high places. Absolutely true. This is a spiritual battle. I've said it with your audience and other audiences, Jennifer, that this is about a heavenly course or a hellish course. So we look at this Q project. Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet in English. And that 17th letter, it's the Osiris number. But we're reversing the magic, unwinding the spells that have been cast on us as a country, going back to the core, re-owning the numbers for ourselves. It's like I've mentioned to your audience before, Jennifer, 5 to Christians from a biblical perspective, from a Jewish perspective, including a Muslim perspective, Old Testament. 5 is the number of grace from a godly perspective, a divine perspective. But to this cult, the occult, this cult that has rooted itself into our government, this deep state, this dark state that is ruling and controlling us and through us in our efforts in the world. That dark state for 5, that's the number of death to enemies and defense. That's why our Pentagon has 5 sides. So these numbers mean things. If we're going to own these numbers back, starting with Q, that's this most important number that the center of Washington, D.C. is built around. And the grave site of President Kennedy, if you want to look at that as a Q, that was them putting their stamp like a boot print over his body. We did this.